Neymar had it all at Barcelona, from Messi feeding him assists to Suarez doing the dirty work and the trophies piling up. Fans loved every second. But in 2017, he shocked the football world by leaving the Camp Nou to join PSG for a record €222 million. The excuse? He wanted to step out of Messi's shadow. But the reality? He ran straight into a shadow of his own. At PSG, Neymar turned into a highlight merchant instead of a football legend. He played just 50% of possible league games in his first 4 seasons. Injuries came like clockwork, usually right before his sister's birthday. He fought teammates, argued over penalties, and became more known for his antics than his impact. League One titles, nobody outside France even noticed. After a few years, PSG decided to get rid of him. He now moved to Al Hilal, Saudi Arabia, earning millions to play in front of 12,000 fans. I mean, that's not a transfer, it's early retirement in disguise. Obviously, he rarely played for Al Hilal due to ACL injuries. Eventually, he moved back to his boyhood club Santos in January 2025. Neymar could have been a Ballon d'Or winner. Instead, he's the king of what could have been. He never achieved his full potential. He went for the money and ruined everything he achieved in Barcelona. Oscar was the engine of Chelsea's midfield. He was brought in 2012, just after Chelsea won their first Champions League trophy. We all remembered his impact and how he booked his place in the first team with that goal against Juventus. At 25, he had just helped Brazil win the Olympics and was part of Mourinho's title-winning squad. Then, out of nowhere, he packed his bags and flew to China. Why? Money. Around $400,000 a week, to be exact. He joined Shanghai SIPG in 2017, just as he was about to hit his prime. No European competition, no spotlight, no Ballon d'Or shortlist, just bags of cash and ghost mode on the world stage. The man who once nutmegged Pirlo and scored in World Cups became a trivia question. Oscar had the skills to dominate world football. Instead, he vanished from top-level competition before his career even peaked. And no, nobody's checking Chinese Super League stats. JJ Okocha was magic. He made defenders dance and fans lose their minds. He had the flair, the vision, the confidence. He even got Ronaldinho benched at PSG. But instead of using his prime years to play for Europe's biggest clubs, he chased paychecks at clubs like Bolton and Qatar SC. He could have been a Ballon d'Or nominee if he stayed in top-tier football. Instead, he bounced between average teams with big salaries. He wasn't just playing football, he was more like freelancing through his prime. Ask anyone about Okocha today, and they'll pull up YouTube clips. Not trophies, not finals, just vibes. He could have been a global icon, but he chose the bag. Alex Song had a great thing going at Arsenal. Regular starter, fans loved him, and he was finally growing into a serious midfielder. Then Barcelona came calling. Obviously, when a team like Barca calls, you should listen. What was Song's response? He accepted immediately, not for trophies or playing time, but because he knew he'd be rich. He literally admitted he didn't care about playing, said he was shocked by the money, and joined Barca to double his salary. And it showed. He barely played. Well, he knew he wasn't going to play. No way he was going to bench Busquets or Xavi. When he eventually played, he looked out of place. One of the strangest transfers Barca ever made. After that, 65 appearances across 6 years for 4 different clubs. No consistency, no legacy, just regret and interviews about why money was more important than football. Alexis Sanchez was unstoppable at Arsenal. Top scorer, tireless work rate, and he carried the team like a superhero. Then, Man United threw £500,000 a week at him, and he couldn't say no. The piano unveiling video aged worse than milk. He became one of the biggest flops in Premier League history, scored just 3 league goals in his first full season. Injuries, poor form, and confidence shattered. He looked like a Sunday League player wearing a Premier League kit. By the time he left United, even Inter Milan fans were nervous. One of the deadliest wingers in Europe, reduced to memes and mockery. He could have been an Arsenal legend. He chose a fat paycheck instead. Mason Greenwood was supposed to be England's next star. Scored on both feet like it was nothing. Youngest ever Manchester United player to score in Europe. Had 35 goals before turning 20. He was moving like a generational talent. Then came the scandal. Shocking audio clips, criminal charges, and an immediate club suspension. Sponsors dropped him instantly. Nike terminated his contract. The club scrubbed his name off everything. His future, gone in a flash. He had the talent. What he didn't have was judgment. Now, instead of leading England's line, he's fighting to get back into football anywhere. No matter where he goes next, that legacy is gone, and that scandal follows him. Dani Alves was football's most decorated player. Champions Leagues, La Liga titles, domestic doubles, you name it. From Sevilla to Barcelona to PSG, he won everything and played like he enjoyed every minute of it. Then, at age 39, his entire image collapsed. Arrested for sexual assault. Multiple charges, conflicting stories, and court drama that shocked the football world. From lifting trophies to prison jumpsuits. That's not how legends are supposed to exit. He spent nearly 2 decades climbing football's highest mountain. Now he might spend the rest of his life behind bars. A legacy of joy and brilliance ruined in the worst way possible. Adam Johnson. Adam Johnson was an England international, played for Manchester City, Sunderland, and even scored in the Premier League regularly. He wasn't world-class, but he had a solid career going. Then came the scandal that ended everything. Convicted for sexual activity with a minor. Sentenced to 6 years in prison. Football turned its back instantly. Clubs disowned him. Fans burned shirts. He went from winger to convict in one of the darkest falls from grace. He never played again. No second chances, no redemption arc. Just one terrible decision that erased his football story completely. Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard was untouchable at Chelsea. 110 goals, countless assists, and defenders on skates every weekend. But when he joined Real Madrid for 100 million euros, everything changed. And not in a good way. He showed up overweight, got injured in his first pre-season, and then again and again. He never found form. In 4 seasons, he scored 7 goals, not in 1 season, in 4, total. He became a bench warmer with a bloated salary. Hazard retired at 32, no Champions League impact, no Ballon d'Or, no glory at Madrid, just pain, injuries, and what happened to Hazard threads online. Philippe Coutinho. Coutinho was Liverpool's magician, scored screamers for fun. Then Barcelona came with a €142 million offer, and he left mid-season chasing trophies and stardom. But once he landed in Spain, everything fell apart. He never fit the system. Confidence dropped. Fans booed him regularly. Barca loaned him to Bayern, where he scored against Barcelona in an 8-2 humiliation. Talk about karma. At 31, he's now playing in Qatar. No Ballon d'Or, no legacy, just a transfer that wrecked both his career and Barcelona's finances. Andriy Shevchenko. Shevchenko was lethal at AC Milan, 173 goals, Ballon d'Or winner, feared across Europe. Then he joined Chelsea for £30 million, and everything collapsed. He couldn't adapt to the Premier League's pace or physicality. He scored just 9 league goals in 2 full seasons, spent more time on the bench than on the scoresheet, eventually loaned back to Milan, but the damage was done. The aura was gone. Shevchenko should have stayed in Italy. That Chelsea move didn't just hurt his form, it crushed his legacy. Paul Pogba. Pogba had it all: height, strength, vision, and flair. After a brilliant stint at Juventus, Man United brought him back for £89 million. That was a world record fee at the time. The reunion looked promising. It wasn't. Injuries, inconsistency, manager clashes, and endless distractions. Off the pitch, he was a brand. On the pitch, a ghost. He missed 100-plus games for United across 6 seasons. When he played, it was 50-50. Then came the doping scandal. Tested positive, suspended, and his entire career put on hold. From World Cup winner to career cliffhanger. Pogba's story is heading for the wrong kind of ending. Mario Götze. He scored the World Cup winning goal in 2014. At just 22, he was Germany's golden boy, the next superstar, the face of a generation. Then he left Dortmund for Bayern. A smart move on paper, but not for him. At Bayern, he was just another squad player. Guardiola didn't trust him as a starter. He played 73 league games in 3 years. That's it. Injuries started piling up. Then came myopathy, a rare metabolic disorder. It wrecked his energy levels and wrecked his rhythm. He went back to Dortmund, then ended up in the Eredivisie. From Messi comparisons to forgotten playmaker in less than a decade. 1 World Cup goal made history. The rest of his career? Mostly a ghost story. Jack Wilshere. At 19, he ran circles around Xavi and Iniesta at the Emirates. Barcelona's midfield got outplayed by a teenager. Arsenal fans thought he was the future of English football, but he wasn't. Injuries ruined everything. He missed entire seasons, ankle, knee, foot. He spent more time on rehab tables than on the training pitch. Played just 49 league games between 2014 and 2022. He retired at 30. He should have been England's Iniesta, but ended up coaching youth teams instead, not by choice, but by injury. Marco Reus. He had everything: pace, vision, goals, loyalty, but his biggest enemy was timing, the worst luck in modern football, period. He missed the 2014 World Cup. Germany won it. Missed Euro 2016. Germany reached the semis. Missed the 2022 World Cup too. By then, fans stopped getting surprised. It became normal for him to miss major tournaments. Even when he played, he always looked like he was managing pain. Never had a proper run at the world stage. Reus could have been a legend. The football gods just didn't let him. Alexandre Pato. When he joined AC Milan at 18, he looked like the next Brazilian icon. Scored on his debut, electric pace, sharp instincts. The San Siro crowd fell in love instantly. But by 22, the injuries started. Muscle problems, hamstrings, knees. His body gave up. Milan gave up too. He left, bounced to Corinthians, Chelsea, China, even Orlando. That list alone tells the story. He's only 35 now. Should have had over 400 career goals. He barely crossed 150. The spark never became fire, just flickered. Thiago Alcantara. If technique had a face, it was his. Trained at La Masia, sharpened at Bayern, refined at Liverpool. Every pass and every touch was perfect. But that's when he was fit, which wasn't often. Since 2015, he's missed nearly 100 matches through injury. That's more games than he started in some seasons. At Liverpool, he missed 38 games in his first 2 years. That's a full Premier League season. He never got to run a midfield for a full year. Never led Spain at a major tournament. Always on the fringe. Beautiful to watch when he was on the pitch, which was rarely. Santi Cazorla, two-footed freak. Genuinely couldn't tell if he was left-footed or right. Arsenal fans adored him. He made midfield look like ballet, but then came the ankle injury, and it never ended. He missed nearly 2 full years, had 8 surgeries. At one point, doctors told him he might lose his leg. Not just his career. The injury got infected. His Achilles was basically gone. He couldn't even walk his kids to school. He came back, played for Villarreal, even got a Spain recall. But his prime? Gone forever. Arsenal never really replaced him. Mario Balotelli, Super Mario, scored the winning penalty in the FA Cup, scored twice versus Germany in Euro 2012. He was 21. Italy thought they had their next star striker. Then came the chaos. Throwing darts at youth players, setting off fireworks in his bathroom, fights with teammates, fights with coaches, fights with common sense. Balotelli was always known to be brutal and arrogant. Well, that's why records show he has received up to 12 red cards in his career. That's horrible for a striker, not even a defender. He's 34 now, played for 10 clubs in 6 countries, still scoring screamers occasionally. But the consistency never showed up. He had all the tools, none of the control. Ravel Morrison. Sir Alex Ferguson said he was the most talented player he'd ever seen. Not Rooney, not Ronaldo, Ravel Morrison. But talent doesn't pay rent when you refuse to grow up. Disciplinary issues everywhere. Couldn't focus, couldn't stay out of trouble, couldn't last more than a season at a club. West Ham, Lazio, Atlas, Sheffield United. One chaos story after another. He's now a free agent again. 12 clubs in 9 countries. That's not a career, that's a cautionary tale. Fergie's biggest regret. Adriano. Left-footed monster. In 4 years at Inter, he scored 65 goals, thunderbolts from 30 yards, headers, everything. He looked like Brazil's next great number 9 after Ronaldo. Then, his father passed away. He spiraled. Alcohol, parties, depression. He stopped caring about football. His fitness dropped. So did his motivation. By 30, he was done. One of the most tragic declines in football. His left foot could break nets. His heart just wasn't in it anymore. Hatem Ben Arfa, one of the most exciting dribblers you'll ever see, could go past 4 defenders like they weren't there. At Newcastle, he gave Premier League defenders nightmares. But he clashed with coaches, teammates, fans. Attitude problems followed him everywhere. He was dropped, benched, even kicked out of clubs mid-season. He had PSG talent, but Sunday League professionalism. Too many highlight reels, not enough career highlights. Ricardo Quaresma, the king of Trivela. Style over everything. His crosses curled like poetry. But his career was more like a random mixtape. He never fully grew up, never settled, always trying to outshine Ronaldo but never came close. Left Barcelona too early, flopped at Chelsea, showed up occasionally at Euro 2016, but that was it. He had the feet, just not the brain or the discipline. Ended up as a cult hero, not a legend. And yes, there's a difference. That's it, folks. Who do you think threw their legacy away the worst? If you enjoyed this breakdown of football's biggest what could have been stories, hit that like button and subscribe for more football deep dives every week.